Welcome to today's walkthrough of Jaco, Costa Rica. We are starting on the beach at Calle Morales, and we will be weaving our way through Jaco's downtown core and most of the central beach areas. I'll be providing some information along the way about some of the places we pass, as well as giving you some insight into what life is like in Costa Rica's most popular beach town. Let's explore. Quite a nice spot on the beach out here. It's a little windy, so I'm hoping that doesn't mess around with the audio too much today. My apologies for any wind noise. It's always difficult on the beach. So I thought today's episode would be a good chance to talk a little bit about the topic of why I love living in Jaco, Costa Rica. And I wanted to talk about this subject really as one of the first narrated guided tours I do of the town. Because, I don't know, it's really what the channel's about. The good of Jaco, the great stuff of Jaco. And to some degree, it is what it is. I always endeavor to film and just show what it's like, so it answers a lot of questions about the town just by seeing the video, hopefully. But now that I'm narrating some of these, I thought I'd give you my perspective on what makes this such a great place. Why do people want to come here? What drives people to live here? Why is it Costa Rica's most popular beach town? So I guess the locations I'm visiting will help answer this question a little bit, because really it's about the mix of town life, beach town life, relaxed beach town life, having the beach right nearby, and having amenities and things like that. It's a lot of the normal reasons everyone thinks about moving to the beach or going on vacation to a beach location. The weather is great, as you can see here now. Pretty chill vibe. The weather is really good year-round, really, depending where you're from. Obviously, if anything, it can get a little hot, but it's never cold in Jaco. I never wear shoes in Jaco. I only wear sandals or go barefoot. I never wear trousers, pants, jeans, anything like that, really, unless I'm going to visit San Jose. So here we are at Selena's, another section in the beach here, quite popular with travelers. It's quite a nice location on the beach. Right, and now we're heading up Calle Alice to Avenida Pastor Diaz, which is Jaco's main street. Frequently featured on our episodes here. And as I mentioned in a previous episode, the town is built along the beach. So basically downtown, the main street, is a block away from the beach, more or less all the time. Sometimes I guess you could say it's 2 blocks. So you're getting an idea right now the distance from the beach to downtown. So we're just going to come up on the south side of downtown. We're coming up to Jaco Walk. And to my left is Vista Las Palmas, which is one of the tallest condominiums in Jaco, one of the first bigger and nicer buildings built in Jaco. You can see the very interesting rooms they have at Selena's. They have some containers, I think. They definitely have some sort of looks like tubing. Very interesting. So Jaco has had a project now for the last, I think, about 3 years to fix a lot of the city streets. So you can see in front of me, this was one of the first streets that was done. And you'll see a few other places along the video that they've actually replaced the streets with this kind of cobblestone bricks. Just passing the local Uber Eats break spot. I always find them hanging out here. So one of the things I most love about Jaco is really that it's a place that has a lot of different experiences that are available. And a little bit, it's the kind of place that it can be what you want it to be to a certain degree. And having said that, it's not for everyone. It's not really a resort, expensive 5-star kind of place. If you're only looking for that kind of thing and perfect white sand beaches, this isn't the place for that. But this is sort of to a degree, like the popular, the public beach of Costa Rica, because it's one of the closest nice beaches from San Jose. So it's naturally the place where most people come on weekends. And it's also a place that has a lot of amenities and restaurants and supplies and things like that. So as someone who's lived in a few different areas, different beach places, different countries, one of the things that always comes up is that when people think of living at the beach, it's easy to think of living remotely, super far away from everyone on a perfect beach, Robinson Crusoe. But the reality of it is, whether you're on vacation or definitely if you live somewhere, you might want to have some of the amenities that you're used to in life. You want to be able to buy a variety of things, to go out to some different restaurants. And Jaco has that here, and activities, all sorts of things are available here, as you can see. Now we're on Jaco's main street and going past some of the restaurants. So really, Jaco is one of the few places that has that kind of mix of city life, or town life at least. It has a real town and real people. It's a genuine town, people who go to work and live here year round. And it's still a very, very chilled out beach town in the midst of, sometimes you might see all the craziness, like a lot of traffic on the main streets and stuff. But what you'll notice is some of my videos, depending what time of day it is, it's very quiet. It's relatively quiet in the streets right now. This is Friday in high season, a little after 4 o'clock, so you can imagine. Now we're coming up to Morales Street, one of the newer restaurants in town. And let's go check out the beach again. Why not? Like I say, it's one of the best parts of living here is the beach is so close. So we're on Calle Hicaco. So as I was mentioning, one of the things I really love about living in Jaco is it's a place where it really is easy to get a lot of peace and quiet and get in touch with nature. Today I'm hanging out mostly at the beach, but there's jungle on all sides with trails you can go at on the other side of the highway. It's a great place to see birds. I actually saw a toucan on my balcony last week. We see macaws very, very regular all over town. And I think a lot of people mention how busy it is because a lot of people, tourists especially, come on the very most busiest times exclusively. They think that that's the experience of being or living in Jaco. And I can tell you in off season it's very quiet a lot of the time. And even now during high season, it's not like it's jam-packed. So mariachi bands getting ready for the weekend. So, another section of the beach covered. Let's go up Calle Central here. We're gonna head back downtown. Hopefully the camera picks up in the distance. On the other side of town you can see all the green mountains, and so basically there's a highway that is on the sort of east side of town that passes through. If you go on the other side of that, there's a lot of nature forests. We regularly go for walks out there and hikes, so bikes, great place for that. Increasingly, there's a lot of people who come to Jaco on the weekends for biking, bicycling, cycling, whatever. So, the other thing, obviously, in Jaco, somewhat famous for its nightlife, and people come to party and stuff like this. That's definitely, you know, available to you. There's bars, there's restaurants. This has been affected by the pandemic, but there's quite a wide range of restaurants, for instance, and I think the bars are now opening again. I wanted to send a huge thank you to everyone for watching my videos and for all the likes and comments I've received lately. I really appreciate it. I have a lot of new episodes planned based on the feedback everyone has been sending in, so please stay tuned, and if you have any ideas for future episodes or questions about Jaco, please let me know in the comments below. I do my best to reply to every comment. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, turn on all the notifications, and like this video. It really helps our channel grow and will ensure you are updated when I release new videos. So Jaco is probably the widest variety of restaurants available for a beach town in Costa Rica. Obviously there's Manuel Antonio and a few others that have, you know, some variety and a lot more tourism and sustains restaurants. But here, you know, you can have, there's 2 Indian restaurants, there's a Thai restaurant, quite a wide range of typical restaurants, Costa Rican food, Italian, several places with Italian, all the obvious things, chain restaurants, pizza. And there's also quite a bit of shopping in town. And beyond that, you can order just about anything you want. You can get anything you want from San Jose, or if you really need it, you can order it from abroad on Amazon relatively easily. So there we go. Past Apache's Pan. Now we're passing through the true center of downtown. Another great part about living in Jaco is the wide range, the mix of people, the mix of cultures. So Jaco itself has a relatively short history, and it was founded by a relatively small amount of founding families. Stay tuned, I'm actually going to do an episode on the history of Jaco in the near future. But essentially over time, it's been a place where different people have come. Obviously tourists from abroad, from the USA and Canada and Europe. But beyond that, Ticos, Costa Ricans from all over the country come here. It's common, like I say, beach weekend spot if you're coming from the city. And it's very typical for even Costa Ricans to have a period in their life where they want to live at the beach and they come live here. You also get people from all over the world, Venezuelans, Nicaraguans, all sorts of people. So it's a real melting pot, and generally speaking, people get along. And I hope that my videos sort of show that. You know, you see a lot of hustle and bustle, you also see all sorts of different people and everything. But most people seem to get along with life peacefully, are having fun. There's a lot of tolerance. There's a lot of people. It's very much a live and let live place, and that's something I can get used to. There's also a big difference between the people who live here and the people who visit, and I think that's one thing to keep in mind if you're here a lot. So as a person who lives here, you know, the people who live here tend to be people who came here because they want to live a chilled out beach life. That's what brought them here, or they were just born here and they are living a chilled out beach life. But you get the idea is that I can notice, you know, for instance, the people who come from even the city have more of a city culture. They're less patient, they're more fast paced, they drive faster in the street. Keep in mind, in Jaco you can still come across a horse on the main street, ATVs all the time. I've been charged by a bull once on the main street of Jaco. Anything can happen in Jaco. So let's go one more little detour to the beach, and now we're going to go down Calle Bohio. This is one of the busier main streets downtown, and it's maybe the busiest one going to the beach. This area is, this street is somewhat famous for having bars and hostels for the budget traveler, surf traveler, that sort of thing. Some great options out here. Bohio is also one of the hardest streets to film on in Jaco because there's so much music always playing in the background. So my apologies if there's some spots where I'm not talking. To fix the audio in cases like this, or YouTube unfortunately penalizes me for using copyright material. So there's a lot of street art along Calle Bohio. At night, this is one of the more livelier areas. It's one of the areas that, depending on the kind of person you're on, you might want to avoid sometimes at night, to be honest. There's a lot of intoxicated people on a weekend night often. Sometimes there's some police out there just to keep things in order. Nothing too crazy. And this area that we're coming up to is we often call it the Malecon because there's a Malecon restaurant. It's not a true seawall or a real boardwalk, but you'll see it's one of the more developed beachfront areas with some restaurants. To my left is a legendary spot. This used to be the location of Buba's. I forget what it was called before that, but it existed for a long time as a burrito, fish taco type place. And unfortunately, it's been closed for quite a lot of years and just being sort of used for storage for the surf camps that are out here. I think this speaks a lot about Jaco right here. Your car with the support out the back. Just a little bit to the south, there's a lifeguard station. It's definitely as someone who's new to the beach and maybe someone who's not experienced in the ocean, I would recommend surfing in the areas or swimming in the areas in front of the lifeguard stations. And this area is pretty famous, of course, for a lot of surf schools, a lot of surf lesson places. Well, this is one of the more busy beach places, obviously with the chairs and umbrellas and people around, but by no means is it busy, I would say. That'll change on Saturday and Sunday, but during the week it's very peaceful to live in Jaco. Depending where you go, obviously, you can go right downtown and be around all the cars, but it's a big beach and there's lots of room to just chill out and have fun. Here we are passing an Alicon Bar restaurant. Feels like it's a good time to have a cold one and maybe some patacones. So that is going to wrap up today's walk through downtown Jaco and the central beach areas. While these are some of the busiest and most central parts of Jaco, today's walk only scratches the surface of what you can discover in Jaco. So please subscribe to my channel, turn on all notifications, and stay tuned for my future episodes from Jaco, Costa Rica. Pura vida.